Hey hotties, welcome back. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Garet, and we're your hosts of Modern Gaze. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about etiquette, sexual etiquette, when it comes to cruising, hooking up, and even when you're in a long-term relationship. Should you be having sex with your socks on or off? But before we get into that, I have some questions for you, Daniel.
Okay, shoot.
Have you ever had a bad etiquette situation? Like when you think about etiquette in like sexual scenarios, what does that mean to you? Like when did someone really show up incorrect?
Okay, I don't know if they showed up incorrect, but during the sexual encounter,
Okay.
and correct me if this is not etiquette, but profusely sweating during sex.
Super sweaty sex.
But it wasn't like hot, kinky, like give me your armpit and shove it in my face.
Overwhelmingly dripping with sweat for no reason?
Yeah, like I think they had a really high hot body temperature or something.
Or maybe it's just like...
Maybe I turned them on so much.
Maybe.
It
was just like maybe they literally dripping wet with sweat, but like the effort wasn't worth it.
I got into it for a minute. We stopped midway and then he had to explain himself.
Was it hot? Like,
I
was
mean,
it hot in the room?
So,
was
yeah,
it like sauna,
Okay,
sweaty?
wait, I'll paint the picture a little bit. So we were in California, like I was living in LA. So, I mean, LA is hot, right? Like it was probably 105 degrees, but yeah, it was a hot night. I didn't have my AC on because there's no AC in my bedroom.
Okay, so it was actually physically hot in the room.
It was a muggy night, but still, like, I mean, we all get a bit sweaty.
But that person just has a high sweat excretion
Gland
level.
Yeah, his glands were filled.
So I don't know, that's not etiquette because that's like body function.
Isn't that bad sexual etiquette? I think it's bad sexual etiquette.
Maybe you're the one who had the bad sexual etiquette because you should have put the AC on.
But girl, there was no AC in the room.
There should have been some fans, some cooling situation.
Okay, anyway, that was my bad sexual etiquette. What about you?
I've had tons of bad like dating etiquette. Sexual etiquette, I think I've been pretty lucky.
Mm-hmm.
But bad etiquette wise, everyone's always been clean, taken a shower, did what they got to do to clean up. Like it was really maybe good like picking. Like I had a good like radar of choice.
Okay, I know one thing on an etiquette level that would turn you off.
What?
A cheesy, smelly dick.
Dr. Carlton says must smell it before you approach it.
One more question for you.
What?
What are your thoughts? Socks on or off?
During sex?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to say off.
You're going to say off?
Yeah, full naked, nude. I don't have like a foot fetish or anything. Some people like want to like reveal the foot, or some people like get too turned on by the foot so that they have to put it away. Some people have ugly feet and they want to cover them.
Yes.
So I don't know. What about you?
Socks are on.
Yeah, I'm like, meh. Now
I love them on.
Take them off.
I don't know why. I think it's like anyway, we'll unpack it a little bit later.
Okay.
But I love my socks on.
All right. Well, you know what? We're going to unpack this. We're going to unpack this on our Patreon. Thank you everyone for listening to Modern Gaze. We appreciate you tuning in to every single one of our episodes every week. And we have something special on our Patreon where we go a little bit deeper in each and every one of our episodes, offering more insight and some more commentary around the topics of our show this week. You can subscribe for free. It's free for everyone to join. And we have a lot of content that's available for everyone. And if you are liking what you see, you can subscribe.
Us gays, we just know how to do stuff.
Well, what about modern gays?
That's easy. Modern gays do everything. So cruising. The term cruising is trending and going off its charts now.
Cruising in general is something that most gay men and a lot of queer people had to do to find other people, even in romantic situations or sexual experiences, because we really couldn't be out and proud in the world at the time. And you can go to the park, you can go to the sauna, you can go to the sex club, you can go to the party at the gay night that's hosted around the corner. Like, cruising can happen anywhere. And it's still a thing today because it's fun for a lot of people. And it's a way to have that kind of sexual excitement and
A rush.
Spontaneity, and it's
adrenaline.
I think like a lot of gay guys in general are quite sexual people in nature, and they're like in their normal state.
I think even a lot of men at the gym are cruising.
Most men are quite sexual, but I think with cruising specifically, like there's so many different scenarios where it can happen, and there are a lot of rules involved that are unsaid. What's trending so much because we're coming off of Gay Pride, Sniffies ended up being this like huge sponsor to so many Gay Pride events, and they have picked up their marketing like crazy, that it's crossed over to a little bit more of a mainstream where everyone is starting to realize that Sniffies is the new Grindr.
Okay, so Sniffies.
Yes.
I am utterly shocked, curious, intrigued about this app because basically I read this article where, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially you post pictures of a location and everyone goes and meets there for a hookup.
Yes.
And I read an article.
It's called a pump and dump.
And I read this article where it showed this particular location where 54 people were attending this pump and dump.
Yes.
That night.
Yes.
So what? 54 dicks were going to just like ejaculate in one home.
Potentially. It's like an impromptu sex party.
Yeah. It said, who's coming to the 54 pump and dump?
Correct.
Like,
yes.
Wow.
So you saw that, and so many people saw that because someone on Twitter or X or whatever had posted that photo and had a comment saying like something derogatory.
Right.
And it was kind of like making fun of it. And other people were like holding that person accountable, whatever. So then this single photo of Sniffies, and maybe even like the Sniffies marketing team like planted this, I don't know.
Right.
But it went viral.
Yeah.
And now everyone is talking about this new app.
Sniffies. I mean, I actually had to reread the name twice because I thought it said sniffles. I did.
Well, if you're not taking care of yourself, you might get the sniffles.
Girl.
But seriously though, this whole recent news cycle that moves so quickly has made something that is quite underground pretty mainstream.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Because Sniffies is more spontaneous. It's more quick. It's a lot more faster when it comes to the speed of the hookup.
Right. So I think Sniffies, in like comparison to Grindr or Tinder or any of the other like dating apps, is that it is really focused on the culture of hookup. Yeah. It's sexual. It's anonymous sometimes. It's just like, get to the point. Let's have some fun and then see you later. Never again.
Whereas Grindr and the other apps are maybe a little bit more conversational at the start. You want a little bit of engagement, get to know someone.
I still think Grindr is a hookup app. And I think
100%.
Scruff is a hookup app.
100%.
But I think that you could still find community. You can make friends or like get to know with like, oh, I saw you on Grindr and then I saw you on Instagram and then I saw you at the gym and like we can be friends now. Right. Something like that.
Well, we've never used Sniffies, so we don't even know what the freaking app looks like. But I have seen, I saw the screenshot. I saw this 54 come and dump and I was like, what the fuck? 54 people. That's a lot.
So the nature of it is focused around cruising.
Correct.
And in cruising, there's an etiquette. And there's like really like a cruising 101 class that should be taught that teach people on what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what it is, what it isn't. And also helps other people who are outside of this like subculture understand what it is without offering so much judgment or disgust or like, you know, be like, oh, that is ridiculous.
Right.
There's a historical reason why it exists. And it is now continuing on. Like, we don't have to be in the closet. We don't have to like wink at people and like, you know, try to figure out
subliminal messages
so much. Not everywhere in the world, that's not true. But in most places, we don't have to do that anymore. So this is actually more of just like a continued activity because it's a lot of fun for a lot of people. I will admit, I've never been to a gay sauna. I've never been to a sex club.
Me either.
I
have been curious.
Fully. How could you not be curious?
But and I'm still curious. Like, I would just want to be a fly on the screen and watch. Like, I wouldn't even want to go in naked to watch. I would just want to watch.
I think that's probably another etiquette piece where you have to dress for the event. Like, you can't just go in and be in your like full suit and tie and clothes and whatever. Right. Like, oh, don't touch me. Like, you also have to kind of be respectful of where you're going.
Correct. But speaking of eye contact, if eye contact is a cruising etiquette, I'm going to be watching you. So if I'm looking at you and I'm making eye contact, and eye contact is the only form of communication, but I don't want to go down on you, what do I do?
You have to look away fast and leave the room.
So when the people doing their interaction look at me, I need to look away, which will show that I'm not interested.
I would imagine so.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, that's clear.
I think a lot of people in that scenario are trying to read the cues of one another.
Of course.
And that's maybe part of the fun.
Okay.
That just basically gives me like massive amounts of anxiety.
What does?
Just that concept
Oh,
of
I think
what
it's
you
hot.
just said. No, I get full anxiety about it. I'm just like,
About you watching a scene and then someone looking at you.
just the whole concept of like communication of consent almost only exists through eye contact.
Okay, but my thing is here, if you've gone to a sauna,
I mean, you could talk.
there's no
You can
consent.
open up your fucking
There's
mouth.
no consent. You've lost all your consent, and
Once you walk through the door.
once
But
you
that's
walk
not
through the
true.
door.
That's the whole point of the etiquette.
I'm
is
sorry,
that
I
you
disagree.
No, I 100% would disagree. Because if you were to touch anybody without having eye contact, and then doubling it up with like extra long eye contact,
Okay.
and then maybe even going up to the person and be like, hey, do you want to?
No, I'm not talking about
do
having a
something.
sexual encounter. I'm talking about feeling awkward. I'm saying you can't feel the second you've walked through that door, you can't have those feelings.
You can have any feeling you want, because there's going to be someone who's walked in for the first time.
Very
who's
true.
going to be very fucking awkward.
Yeah.
You know, if we walked in there today,
Oh my God.
we would be the most awkward fucking people.
We would be
in
profusely
there.
sweating.
We would be like, what? We would be like, what the fuck is going on? We'd be staring at the wrong person. Then we'd be like, we would have had the wrong armband on because there's a whole color code.
It would be like that feeling we had when we went to the Palm Springs leather party.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay.
So we
Very quickly.
went to the Palm Springs leather party, which was like a week before Gay Pride or White Party or something.
Yes.
And we just happened
We
to
were
be
in Palm Springs. We wanted
Yeah.
to go out, and someone was like,
I
are
was
you going
having
to the leather
I was
party?
having rosé by the pool, happy.
And we were like, no, what is this? And everyone was like, you have to go. So we
Yes.
were like, sure, we will go.
Yes. And then
We had no attire. We had no leather harnesses. We had leather jackets.
we weren't dressed for the part at all.
We had jeans.
Yeah, were we wearing leather? We weren't even wearing a leather jacket.
Honey, we dressed for the glams in Beverly Hills.
Yes.
We were not going to the leather party, girl.
So anyway, we show up.
We
try to
bought
buy
tickets at the
bought
fucking
tickets
door.
At the door. And then everyone is in like full on like latex, naked or
Jock straps,
like,
thongs,
and people
no
are,
pants.
But the thing is, the music was really cool. Like there's a lot of people, like everyone's having a really good time.
When in Palm Springs, right?
The vibe is like pretty cool. Anyway, but we definitely walked in fully not dressed correct.
We were dressed from head to toe.
Like, and that was the problem.
We escaped out of there very quickly.
No, we didn't. We did a full lap.
We did.
And we clearly recognized that we were out of our league.
We were getting lots of looks to basically exit the building.
A lot of people looked at us like, get
the fuck out of here.
GTFO, or it was like, get undressed. It was one or the other. It was like either lose all the clothes or put on a full leather outfit right now.
Anyway, point of the story is
we didn't follow the etiquette.
we didn't follow the
didn't
etiquette.
dress for the occasion.
Okay.
And we also didn't know the rules around staring because we were probably staring at
eye
everybody.
contact. Right. Next form of etiquette when it comes to cruising, speaking of etiquette, is communication.
Yes.
So when cruising, no one wants to have a deep and meaningful conversation. No chit chat.
Like it's not the place to like catch up with your best gal.
No, you probably don't even want to know the person's name. You just want to like, no chit chat, cut to the bullshit, let's go.
Okay.
So when it comes to cruising, you have to just cut the crap and go. Anyway, the final thing is dress to undress.
Just to undress.
Like, you're not showing up in a pair of jeans. That's actually really relatable because, you know, when I was in my teens and I was 18, 19, 20, whenever I'd go for a hookup, I would always go in my sweatpants with no underwear on. Like, I'd rock up to the house, pull the pants down, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Like, no jeans, no shirts, no nothing.
Okay. Well, what about hooking up?
Okay, moving on to hooking up.
Because we know nothing about cruising.
Yes. What are your top 5 etiquette, like non-negotiables when it comes to hooking up?
It's not that I have top 5. It's more that like it's a unique experience. So for me, I still was always kind of like a hopeless romantic. I was always looking for a little bit of love. And that really quickly was a turnoff for a lot of people because they weren't really looking for that. They were
Correct.
just kind of like, let's get to it.
Rule number 3, no chit chat.
But a lot of people played me and allowed that, was like, oh yeah, like I'm looking for the same thing. And then I got then interested, and then we hooked up, and then never heard from them, ghosted, right?
Right.
I felt like I was lied to because it wasn't clear communication or honest communication. I would have had more respect if like they were like,
I'm not interested.
But let's just like have some fun.
Have an FUCK.
Yeah. And like I would have probably still went forward with it. I applied maybe pressure on myself to, still try to find a little bit of love in a hookup situation. I didn't
I think
allow
everybody
myself to be fully like carnal and be like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I never allowed myself to do that. When it comes to etiquette, maybe I was breaking a lot of the etiquette because for a hookup, I also was looking for more than a hookup, but I wasn't necessarily looking in the right place for what I really wanted.
Well, everyone also has needs and wants, right? We all have wants and needs. So it's a balance of trying to please yourself.
Yeah.
While you've got somebody there.
Well, that's why I like
getting that D, girl.
That's why we met on the app we met on, is because on Chappie back in the day, you could slide it like from Mr. Right or Mr. Right Now or somewhere in the middle. Like you can exist in different headspaces.
Well,
like
I think that's why Grindr is good, because unlike cruising, Grindr for hookups allows you to build a little bit of a conversation and get to know somebody before proceeding to the next step.
Right, exactly.
When it comes to hookups.
Well, you also want to validate that someone's not a complete psychopath or, not who they are. One of the biggest etiquette things is like upload photos of yourself from 15 years ago.
Oh, no, don't do that.
You're going to be able to tell if someone is really, 50 and not 35.
Correct.
Like it's not something you can just hide. Or if you're young and then you're saying that you're something older, like that's just really dangerous, because you're really opening yourself up to really just starting off of any kind of relationship in a lie. And on top of that, it's just creepy.
I also think when it comes to hookup etiquette, clean your house. Like if someone's coming over,
that's just like good Teams meeting etiquette.
I know.
If I see someone on a fucking Zoom or a Google Meet or whatever, and your house is disgusting behind you,
that's
put your laundry away.
No, baby, it's called put a virtual background behind you.
Blur your background.
Put a virtual background.
Okay,
especially like clean your shower, because you might also have a bit of a rinse off together after.
Correct. Yes.
So clean your sink.
How much soap scum is bad etiquette?
Right.
Like how much do black mold do I need to see in your vents?
So like when it comes to etiquette, I'm all about like a clean house.
Yes.
Like I can deal with a sweaty ass, but I'd rather a clean house.
Okay. I want to talk about something really important.
All right, go.
Shitting on a dick.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Yikes.
Sorry, mom and dad, who are listening to this episode. Okay. I think that when you have any kind of like backdoor play,
yes,
you're playing in.
You've opened the back door.
A compost area, right?
It's open.
It is literally a process to cleanse, and it's not always the person who is cleansing's fault that it may not be fully clean, or there could be a miscommunication. So for example, where someone has maybe had ice cubes all day, they haven't eaten a thing. They've been preparing for this moment. They've douched. They've already put a dildo up there. Like they've done all of the things that they needed to do, right? And then they sit on you.
Right.
And they're having a really good time.
Yeah.
Real good times. It feels really amazing.
Yeah.
Your muscles are going to relax.
Yep.
And you're going to be moving, you're gyrating, you're getting up and you're getting down. Hopefully you're in 15 different positions, have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Things are going to get a little bit dislodged there and move around and work their way down.
Yep.
And then get to a point where you're so relaxed that you might, shit on a dick.
It's happened to me.
It's happened to everyone.
It's happened to me.
It's happened to everyone. And you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the worst etiquette exists, because so many people probably have reacted in the most horrendous ways and immature ways, or made people feel really bad about it. And I think that there's an etiquette around it that is very important.
In how you handle the situation.
How everyone handles the situation, especially the top. I think that it's important for there to be empathy. There needs to be a lot of education and grace around it, less shame. And there needs to be a bit of a protocol that needs to happen after the situation.
Agree.
don't freak the fuck out. You need to calm down because you're already dealing with that area. If you don't want to deal with it, then don't have sex in that area, period. Right? Don't make anyone feel bad. Don't go to shame. Just excuse yourself and rinse it off. And then just wrap it up gracefully. The biggest thing is that it literally happens to every single person. Every single gay person that has had gay sex has gotten into a scenario with that.
Yeah. I think to go off topic now and move back to some non-graphical comments would be trusting your gut or trusting your intuition, especially with the first time hookup. Like if you're going to somebody's house or you're on a date and you're unsure whether you want to like go to the next base,
right? Like
trusting your gut and trusting your intuition to be like, oh, this is not right. Let's leave.
Okay. Yeah. So you give yourself the freedom to leave if that's not, if you don't feel safe, if you don't feel good.
Mid-sex.
If you're just like, you're not who you said you were, you don't look like your photos.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like give yourself the permission to like say, I need to leave.
Right. Yeah. And you can do it in a very suave way. You can be
correct.
Like, and it doesn't have to be disrespectful either.
Okay. So now the next etiquette, which is on everybody's lips,
is
socks.
Socks. I mean,
so you said you're not into socks during sex. Why?
Well, I like clean. If you've been wearing your socks all day or just came from the gym, I'm not into that like sweaty foot smell.
I love wearing my socks during sex.
Well, okay. So the actor Idris Elba, he was filming a scene with Kate Winslet and they had a sex scene. And he asked Kate Winslet to wear socks because he has a foot thing and he didn't want to like get too excited with her feet all over him. He needed them to be covered.
Interesting.
For their scene, for him to like be able to stay in character and do his job.
Okay.
But other people like Kevin Hart have said that he always has sex with his socks on.
Because he has ugly toes.
Because he's got ugly toes.
You ugly bitch.
So I don't know. Maybe a lot of people keep their socks on because they just have hairy feet or they don't like their footsies.
Look, I keep my socks on, girl, because I'm cold.
Correct.
I need my feet to be warm. It's a protection thing for me.
Okay.
Like I need my feet to feel covered.
Okay.
I don't know why.
So do you like your feet? You don't like your feet touched or played with sexually?
I know why it is. Because I'm ticklish.
You're ticklish.
So I feel like if I have my socks on, it's my protector.
Okay.
Maybe that's why. Although when I'm in bed, I mean, I don't sleep with my socks on when we sleep.
Well, that's also the debate. Is like, do you wear socks to bed?
No.
Full stop.
No,
like
I don't.
In bed while you go to sleep.
I used to when I was single.
You know what's a really good feeling?
What?
Getting into bed.
Yeah.
With your socks on.
Yeah.
And then like getting cozy and then slowly like, and then just deciding, okay, I'm going to take my socks off, but you only take them off with your feet.
Yeah, it's like your underwear. You just slowly drip it off.
Extra it's kind of like a transitionary coziness.
But I also like having my socks on. Okay, so another revelation. I like having my socks on during foreplay. And then when we're ready to go, take them off.
Okay.
I'm fully naked.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. Even when you're dealing with etiquette in sexual scenarios, in a long-term relationship or like dating situation, there still is etiquette. There's still,
like brush your teeth.
Like brush your teeth or do the things that you know that your partner likes or the things that you like, that you prioritize. I think that you need to consider maintaining that etiquette.
Look, my etiquette long-term for me is very simple. Give me pleasure.
Well, that's not etiquette though. That's like your priorities. Maybe you have less priorities on etiquette and you're just focused on your pleasure and you don't give a shit about etiquette.
Yeah, I don't care about etiquette. Aside from clean house.
Clean sheets, I think, would be important.
Yeah, I know that's important for you because you also love clean towels.
I just like...
Every time Garet's in the shower, he's always like, get me a fresh towel.
Yes.
You like fresh things.
Yeah, I mean, who would not want to be wrapped by soft, lush, freshly
I know, but we're talking about
dryer,
sex right here.
Cotton.
I love that. 1,000 thread count bed sheets. I love it.
You're having sex. The sheets can be satin. They can be cotton. They can be linen. It could be a throw. It doesn't matter. It just needs to be clean.
Okay.
That's the other thing that I don't like about saunas and other like sex clubs is I'm not sure how clean it is. I know that like,
which is why you've never cruised.
I think that like also you have to have good etiquette while you're there to clean up after yourself. Because I can imagine it's getting pretty messy. Well,
we've heard some stories, but we will unpack that on our Patreon.
and we'll upload that extra bonus content for free. So definitely check it out. I do not think you will find me on the Sniffies app.
No.
But there's so many other gay parties and gay events that are really fun to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I'll be very mindful when we're there, when I'm just like enjoying the music and have my cocktail, that I will not be holding a long stare to anyone.
But I feel like you could hold a long stare just at a regular gay club. You don't have to be in a sauna or a steam room or
that's the
at a
way
sex
of like
party.
easiest way of communication.
Yeah,
Like
even at a club, the music is full blast.
there's a lot we can do with our eyes.
You only have your eyes.
Yeah.
The crows have eyes,
Crows have
David.
eyes, Daniel. All right then. Well, why don't you go put your socks on? And until then, keep building the vibrant life you want by owning your authentic self. Hey everyone, it's Daniel and Garet from Modern Gaze. You know how we're all about owning your authentic self, right? Well, we found something that's totally in line with that. It's called Homes Decor, spelled with 2 M's. Yeah, like home, but make it French and fabulous. This place is not your average home decor store. It's a vibe.
Picture this, guys. Provocative pillows that start conversations, gay vintage art that's like a time machine to the past, and futuristic drag queen portraits that are just iconic. It's all about expressing you.
And get this, they're offering free international shipping for orders over $200.
Save that money!
So you can be fabulous no matter where you are in the world.
Oh, and because we love you guys, use the code ModernGaze at checkout for a cheeky 10% off. It's like a high five from us to you.
So go ahead, make your space as vibrant as you are. Check out Homes, that's HOMMES, decor.com, and let your home tell your story.